Welcome to a journey through one of the most intriguing cultural phenomena of the internet age. As we settle into this exploration, let us delve into the fascinating world of epic rap battles of history, specifically focusing on one of their most controversial and viewed battles featuring Adolf Hitler. This unique blend of history, comedy, and music has captured millions of viewers across the globe, turning historical education into entertainment through the power of lyrical warfare. The series, created by Nice Peter and Epic Lloyd, has transformed the way many people, especially younger generations, engage with historical figures and events. Epic Rap Battles of History, often abbreviated as ERB, launched in 2010 as a YouTube series that pits historical figures, celebrities, and fictional characters against each other in rap battle format. The Hitler episodes, particularly Darth Vader vs. Hitler and its sequels, stand among the most viewed and controversial installments in the series. These battles represent a fascinating intersection of pop culture, historical education, and modern internet humor. Through clever wordplay and historically accurate references, these videos manage to both entertain and inform while navigating the delicate balance of using satire to address one of history's most reviled figures. Understanding the cultural impact of ERB's Hitler battles requires examining how comedy and rap have been used as tools to confront difficult historical subjects. The creators took a significant risk by featuring Hitler in their series, but did so with clear intent to ridicule and diminish his character rather than glorify him in any way. In each appearance, Hitler is portrayed as pathetic, defeated, and ultimately powerless against his opponents, whether facing Darth Vader, Abraham Lincoln, or other antagonists. The approach represents a modern take on an age-old tradition of using humor to undermine authoritarian figures and process historical trauma through artistic expression. The significance of these rap battles extends beyond mere entertainment, as they reflect changing attitudes toward historical education and remembrance. For many young viewers, these videos served as an unexpected entry point into historical discussions, prompting further research and interest in the portrayed characters and events. The comment sections of these videos often contain surprisingly nuanced historical debates, with viewers fact-checking references and adding additional context. This phenomenon demonstrates how unconventional educational formats can engage audiences who might otherwise remain disinterested in traditional historical narratives or academic discussions about World War II and the Holocaust. The success of the Hitler battles within ERB also speaks to the evolution of internet culture and the democratization of historical discourse. In previous generations, discussions about Hitler and Nazi Germany were largely confined to academic settings, documentaries, and formal educational contexts. The internet age has transformed how we process historical information, allowing for more diverse approaches to confronting difficult subjects. While some critics expressed concern about trivializing serious historical events, defenders argue that mockery serves an important purpose in destroying the mystique of fascism and preventing historical villains from retaining power in our collective consciousness. This tension between reverence for historical gravity and the need for accessible processing of historical trauma continues to define conversations about how we should represent figures like Hitler in popular culture. The first appearance of Hitler in Epic Rap Battles of History occurred in the series' third episode, released in November 2010, where he faced off against Darth Vader. This unexpected pairing juxtaposed a real historical villain with a fictional one, creating an immediate cultural impact that helped define the series' approach. The battle accumulated millions of views within days of its release, demonstrating the public's fascination with this unconventional historical representation. Nice Peter, one of the co-creators, portrayed Hitler while Epic Lloyd took on the role of Darth Vader, establishing a format that would continue throughout subsequent battles featuring these characters. Due to overwhelming viewer demand and the viral success of the first battle, Hitler returned for a rematch with Vader in the second season of ERB. This time, the production values increased significantly, with more elaborate costumes, sets, and special effects enhancing the visual experience. The lyrics became more sophisticated as well, incorporating deeper historical references and more nuanced character development for both combatants. The sequel expanded on themes established in the original battle, with Hitler's defeat becoming more humiliating and complete. A third installment eventually followed in the fourth season, completing a trilogy that tracked the progressive diminishment of Hitler's character, ending with him being completely frozen in carbonite by Vader, symbolically removing his voice and power entirely. Beyond the Vader trilogy, Hitler made a brief appearance in another notable ERB episode featuring Abraham Lincoln versus Chuck Norris. This cameo reinforced the series' approach of consistently portraying Hitler as a figure to be mocked rather than feared. Lincoln, represented as an embodiment of American ideals and freedom, dismisses Hitler with contempt before focusing on his primary opponent. This treatment reflects the creator's careful handling of sensitive historical material, ensuring that while Hitler appears as a character, he is never presented in a way that could be construed as sympathetic or admiring. The consistent portrayal across multiple episodes established a clear ethical framework for the series' approach to controversial historical figures. The creative team behind ERB conducted substantial historical research to inform their characterizations and lyrical content. Nice Peter has discussed in interviews how they worked to balance comedic elements with historical accuracy, consulting reference materials about Nazi Germany and Hitler's speeches to incorporate authentic details while subverting them for satirical purposes. The writing team, which expanded as the series grew in popularity, included comedy writers and historians who collaborated to ensure the battles contained genuinely educational content beneath the entertainment value. This commitment to factual foundation, even within a comedic framework, distinguished ERB from more superficial parodies and contributed to its acceptance as a legitimate, if unconventional, form of historical engagement. The production evolution across the Hitler battles reflects the growing success of the ERB franchise. What began as a relatively low-budget YouTube experiment filmed in Nice Peter's apartment evolved into a professional operation with dedicated sets, custom costumes, and sophisticated post-production effects. By the time of the third Hitler versus Vader battle, the series had secured significant funding from YouTube and external sponsors, allowing for cinematic quality that rivaled television productions. This progression mirrors the broader evolution of internet content creation during the 2010s as online video transitioned from amateur hobby to legitimate creative industry. The Hitler battles, as some of the most viewed content in the series, played a crucial role in driving this development for ERB, enabling the creators to expand their team and improve production values across all their historical portrayals. As we settle into our exploration of this cultural phenomenon, it's worth noting that the Hitler battles represent a fascinating case study in how comedy processes historical trauma. Psychologists have observed that humor serves as a coping mechanism for societies dealing with difficult historical events, allowing emotional distance while still acknowledging the reality of past atrocities. The portrayal of Hitler in ERB functions as a form of collective catharsis, stripping power from a figure who once commanded fear and authority across continents. By reducing Hitler to a defeated rap battle contestant, the videos participate in a long tradition of using mockery as resistance against totalitarian ideologies, similar to Charlie Chaplin's The Great Dictator or political cartoons from the World War II era. The viewership demographics of these videos reveal interesting patterns about their cultural impact and reception. According to available analytics, the Hitler battles attract a surprisingly diverse audience spanning multiple age groups, though predominantly appealing to viewers between 18 and 34 years old. Educational institutions have reported instances of students discovering historical interests through ERB, with teachers occasionally incorporating the videos as supplementary material to engage students otherwise disconnected from traditional history lessons. This educational potential emerges not from the battles themselves, but from the conversations they inspire, with viewers frequently researching referenced events to better understand the jokes and historical allusions embedded within the rapid-fire lyrics. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of the Hitler battle's reception is the international viewership they attract, including significant audiences in Germany and other European countries directly affected by the Nazi regime. German viewers, despite their country's strict laws regarding Nazi imagery and rhetoric, have generally responded positively to the satirical treatment, recognizing the clear anti-Nazi messaging underlying the comedic presentation. Translation communities have developed to create subtitles in multiple languages, allowing the battles to reach non-English speaking audiences and demonstrating the global appeal of this format of historical engagement. The comment sections often feature intergenerational discussions, with descendants of Holocaust survivors and World War II veterans sharing perspectives alongside younger viewers encountering these historical narratives for the first time. The musical construction of the Hitler battles deserves analysis as well, as the production team employs specific musical cues and vocal techniques to underscore the characterization. Hitler's verses typically feature harsh, guttural delivery with militaristic beats reminiscent of Nazi propaganda music, while his opponents generally receive more heroic or powerful musical backing. This auditory characterization reinforces the narrative framing of Hitler as the villain destined for defeat regardless of his opponents. The music producers for ERB, including Nice Peter himself and later KRNFX, developed increasingly sophisticated sound design across the series, using audio elements as storytelling tools to complement the visual and lyrical content. This attention to musical detail creates a multi-dimensional representation that engages viewers on multiple sensory levels. When examining the specific lyrical content of Hitler's verses, we find careful construction that mocks the historical figure while avoiding any glamorization of Nazi ideology. The writers incorporate historical references to Hitler's failures, emphasizing his ultimate defeat and the collapse of the Third Reich. References to Hitler's rejected art career, military blunders, and final days hiding in a bunker all serve to diminish rather than enhance his historical stature. Importantly, the battles include references to the Holocaust and other Nazi atrocities, acknowledging the real historical suffering rather than avoiding it entirely. This approach represents A deliberate educational choice, ensuring that even within a comedic format, the true historical impact of Nazism is not erased or minimized. As we rest with these thoughts, consider how this unconventional format might actually serve the cause of historical memory more effectively than some traditional approaches by reaching audiences who might otherwise remain disengaged from these crucial historical lessons. The cultural ripple effects of ERB's Hitler battles extend far beyond their immediate entertainment value, influencing how a generation approaches historical education and commemoration. Educational researchers have documented cases where students initially exposed to historical figures through ERB subsequently developed genuine interest in deeper historical study. This pattern suggests that unconventional entry points to historical knowledge may serve valuable functions in our digital age, where traditional educational methods increasingly compete with entertainment for attention. The Hitler battles, despite their comedic framing, have prompted meaningful discussions about historical responsibility, the nature of evil, and how societies remember atrocities, demonstrating that entertainment and education need not exist in separate spheres. The legal and ethical considerations surrounding these portrayals reveal much about differing international approaches to historical memory. While the videos circulate freely in the United States under broad First Amendment protections, other countries maintain more restrictive approaches to Nazi imagery. Germany, for instance, has specific laws prohibiting certain forms of Nazi representation. Yet the ERB videos generally remain accessible there due to their clearly satirical intent and anti-Nazi messaging. This international reception highlights how different societies balance free expression against concerns about historical reverence and the potential normalization of extremist ideologies. The creators have acknowledged their awareness of these concerns, explaining their consistent portrayal of Hitler as unequivocally villainous and deserving of mockery rather than respect or fascination. As internet culture continues evolving, the legacy of these rap battles offers perspective on how historical education might adapt to changing media consumption patterns. Traditional documentaries and textbooks remain vital, but complementary approaches like ERB reach audiences who might otherwise remain disengaged from historical discourse. The millions of comments across these videos include countless viewers expressing newfound interest in historical events, suggesting that unorthodox presentation methods can serve as gateways to more conventional historical learning. This phenomenon raises important questions for educators and cultural institutions about adapting their approaches to connect with digital native generations without sacrificing historical accuracy or appropriate gravity when addressing sensitive topics like the Holocaust and World War II. The psychological impact of satirizing Hitler connects to broader questions about how societies process historical trauma through art and popular culture. By transforming Hitler from a figure of terror to one of ridicule, ERB participates in a collective emotional process that helps diminish the power historical villains hold over our cultural imagination. Similar approaches appear across various media forms, from Jojo Rabbit to The Producers, each using comedy to confront and process the historical reality of Nazism. Mental health professionals have noted that such artistic expressions can serve therapeutic functions for societies still reckoning with historical wounds, providing emotional release while maintaining historical awareness. The balance ERB strikes: mocking Hitler without minimizing the real suffering caused by his regime represents a thoughtful approach to this delicate cultural work. As we conclude our exploration of this unique intersection of history, music, and internet culture, we might reflect on what it reveals about our evolving relationship with the past. The epic rap battles featuring Hitler demonstrate that historical education need not be confined to somber documentaries or academic texts to be meaningful and impactful. By meeting younger generations where they are, online, engaged with music, and visual media, these battles have contributed to ensuring Hitler remains properly contextualized as a cautionary figure rather than fading from cultural memory. As digital natives become the primary carriers of historical consciousness, formats like ERB may play increasingly important roles in how societies maintain connections to crucial historical lessons. The continued popularity of these videos suggests that while the medium of historical engagement may change, the essential human need to process, understand, and learn from our collective past remains constant across generations and technological evolutions.